Okay, everyone, we're going to be going over the hip throw from a self-defense perspective, okay? We cover a lot of, up to this point in the program, a lot of really basic ways that work for sport or self-defense, either one. But these, we're going to kind of look, the entry is going to be geared more towards self-defense, right? Defense against strikes, things of that nature. So really want everybody to, notice it's just the same hip throw that you already know. And I'm going to show one other version, right? So the main one we teach to all the beginners coming up through the ranks is the ogoshi, right? And that's the major hip throw from judo. So what we're going to be going over today is two versions of that, and then two versions of another throw called koshi guruma. And that means hip wheel, right? And that just means I'm going around the head. So I see a lot of beginners that when I'm teaching them takedowns and throws, they get really good without me ever showing them to go around the head. Just kind of wait until later in the program when you're more advanced, but they just kind of have an innate instinct, right? It's just like a part of how they think. Like I see some of the kids make it into my green belt class, like 8 to 12 years old, and then I'll be tossing people by the head all day. And I'm like, wow, cool, we've never taught you that, and you're just throwing everybody with it, right? But it's like that with the hip action. You can do all of the throws with different grips and holding points and different leg actions, but we're all about the hip action today, okay? So in self-defense, a lot of times the hip throw is shown to evade an overhand strike, okay? So, at this sort of distance, I see that Mike is going to throw an overhand on me. I'm gonna step in and block, and then go to the side here, okay? Now, anytime that you're here, people do one of two things. When I get behind him like this, I have foot here and foot facing this way, they will either turn to face you or step behind or both. When they do that, we pick them up with our hip, we turn and look, just like always. Okay, now we're gonna find stability with a good knee on belly position. Okay, I like putting my hand here on this bicep or shoulder to help me find base, because I don't want my head to go this way or he'll tip me over, okay? Another thing you'll see, a good knee on belly, our foot hooks the hip, it's not on the floor, and it's not extending past, right? So a lot of people hold it and hang out there, and people can grab it, okay? Turn this way, head all the way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at the figure 4 arm bar from knee on belly, okay? So from this knee on belly, I need to be sure my head stays on this side of his spine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the shoulder, I have the tricep from the very beginning, and I take the slack out of the arm. I roll it into this figure 4, and I anchor my elbow to my hip, right? And now I'm gonna kind of extend like that, okay? So that type of figure 4 leverage is something we teach from the self-defense techniques, like the straight ankle lock, figure 4 ankle lock, right? We show grabbing the lapel as well, but this is that same concept applied to the arm, okay? So we've seen like shin in arm bar from knee on belly. If you've gone through the program, this is a little different. Knee on belly, and we're staying in knee on belly, and we get the tap, okay? So that is from an overhand defense where I block only, okay? So one thing is, if you really see it coming, like really reach behind, right? I can block and go to the side simultaneously, right? I might even see them like go to look back, and I really see it coming, and I get to the side before they ever even got a chance. Like, okay, I know you're gonna try and hit me, right? And if you're not, we'll figure it out when I get you a mount or something, right? You start apologizing. Oh, I was gonna, sorry, I was just gonna show you to get my phone out, whatever, right? But you think if you're in a heightened situation, you're aware, you think somebody's gonna hit you, we need to act first, right? Don't get hit, okay? And if they are gonna hit you, block, come into the side here. We got our side clinch, grabbing the hip bone and the tricep. If he steps behind, I step in front, I turn and look. Find that stability with your knee on belly position. Take the slack out of the shoulder, figure 4, leverage. Okay, so that is our countering the overhand. So we want to block it. Sometimes we have to block it before we can go to the side. I'd like to block it and go to the side, or just evade it going to the side altogether. But that's like the highest level of this for me. Like if they really gave you the indicator that, and you just could, I see it back here in, Texas. So I'm just gonna go around, I see what you're doing, sir. But you can, whoop. So practice that. train that, think that way. Zone away from those strikes, okay? So that's that. Now let's take a look at a couple of other options, right? We teach 4 total from the self-defense to the hip throw, okay? And again, 2 ogoshis, 2 koshigurumas, all self-defense situations. And then later on, you know, there's some additional options here if they have a club, right? We have some things we teach with that, okay? But that's, you know, not what we're getting into today. So on the overhand, that's great. Let's take a look at the 2 koshigurumas here, okay? So body lock. So guys, what'll happen is he'll suck your hips in, and yeah, you'll just end up going backwards. It's no good, okay? So when someone has this body lock position, right, what I need to do is I need to step back and put my shoulder weight on them, okay? So, and look, when I'm doing that, this knee is light, so I can knee, and when I did that, it even broke his grip, okay? But really hold me tight, okay? And this is, I'm not even doing anything with my arms. This is just base here, okay? Now, if I do my cat back, like where I round my spine, right, and extend away, it opens his grip, okay? But a lot of times, with just a really good base, you can open. I didn't even really focus on rounding my back there. I focused on shoulder connection, a light back foot, so I could knee, and then here, look. Boom. And there, take that slack out of the shoulder, connect his arm to your femur, and that's your figure 4 arm lock. Okay, so this is breaking the body lock, and we're taking a look at koshiguruma. So it's not just the basic hip throw, it's hip throw 2.0 for everybody just tuning in, okay? So, body lock, step back here, all right? Good base, light leg, and shoulder connection, okay? That wasn't even rounding my spine yet. Go ahead and get your grip back if you can. Good shoulder connection, good base. There. You got knees if you want them, but I'm coming over the head here. Get that good knee on belly. Okay, so that's our first koshiguruma. Now with this one, we teach this one 2 ways. Just the basic sort of idea of somebody's got me here, something like this, okay? Both hands are coming in. Now there's some different techniques that we teach if it's really like, be a little different if it's somebody like very aggressive, pulling you up on your tippy toes. We'll have to deal with that a little different. But from here or from here, okay? And you see, I love what you're doing. Good job. This is exactly what I would do. Don't elbow me in the face or nothing though, okay? So, come in. All right, I like how you have your hands up here. Another thing is if anybody ever, and you're standing, ever grabs you in the throat like that, the number one thing to do is take your shoulders up and your chin down, okay? Like this. That's gonna attract their hands. So when you move, they're connected to you. They're not gonna withdraw one of those hands to attack either. So we have different things for one hand or the other that we show, but this is for both hands on the neck. Sometimes somebody may be pushing you with this. With you. Like that. So that's the stress test, is being able to do this, being pushed back, okay? And it's like kind of intense there for a second, right? So, but the first thing I want here, and when my shoulders come up, my hands come up, okay? So synchronize that. A lot of people just hands up, they get that, but hands up, shoulders up, chin down, okay? I'm gonna grab my neck here, here. Look at that. Stepping in front, koshiguruma, knee on belly, figure 4 arm lock. Okay, so now what we can do with this is, once you learn it, it's really not super complicated. It's just getting that order of operations. Hands up, shoulders up, chin down. Okay, Then if he's pushing me backwards, and so go slow here, we'll start at the very edge. Go there. Base. And look, I came in here. Knee on belly. Get that shoulder, take the slack out. And that's, you know, imagine I start adding my hips into that. Like, oh, it's like it's hyperextended, it's trapped under my armpit. And then, you know, I just have so much further I could go with my hips, like that, okay? They tap long before that, so take care of your training partners. They're who are gonna help you figure this out, right? And always talk with them, like, too, like, hey, you know, and maybe, like, you know, Mike helps me a lot of the videos and questions come up, and we talk about things before and after, but in class, you talk to your partner like, hey, did that freaking hurt or what? Yeah. Do you think it felt like when Brad did it?
Right.
Right, like, I mean, like that's the goal. So, you know, talk to each other and use, like imagine they're your lab partner, right? And you both want to get an A+ on the lab. You're gonna have to work together, okay? And guys, that'll help you in a lot of other areas too, okay? So, stepping back into face, boom here, boom, Koshiguruma. Okay, so this is our last hip throw, okay? So this is one, it's kind of like the last one's really kind of super self-defense oriented. Like, yeah, somebody throwing a punch at you, you know, but this one is, you know, somebody is like, you know, really attacking you here. Like there's, and people think that this doesn't happen, but it does. Like people will grab you like this so you can't do things, right? And I'm over both of his arms right now, okay? But like people trying to subdue you will do things where they take your arms, like this takes your arms out of the equation, right? You know, if I can get, you know, think like the doubles we teach, get your feet stuck together a lot of times with your hips where you can't sprawl. And so, what we want to think about with this is finding a base. If somebody grabs over both our arms, right? What's really going on is I'm under both of your arms, okay? So when he's here, I've got to find base, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to raise my arms up a little bit, okay? Right? Is I drop here, and I'm going to drop the, prop the hip, okay, here. This is so he doesn't knee or do anything super crazy, okay? Now, just like we're talking about on breaking the body lock from the front when it's under both arms, kind of the same concept. I'm leaning forward, stepping back into base. Okay, now look, I'm coming here. There's my hip throw, knee on belly, take the slack out, bigger forearm bar. Okay, now, save this one for last. It is a no-go, she liked the first one we showed, but I'm gonna show a slightly different arm bar. This would be like a bonus points situation, right? Just throwing this in there because you're such great students and audience members, okay? So, turn this way, please. So when you got knee on belly and you have a good base and you're stable and you've got the triceps, because that's what you have from the beginning, right? You've got a good outrigger here and you connected that to your finger. It's already pretty serious, right? Right? That makes you want to tap. Do you see his hands? Oh, okay. So this is a one-arm arm bar. So I've heard some people over the years call this this type of arm bar, and they'll fall back for it a lot, but a shotgun arm bar, because like how you're holding the end of the barrel, yeah. So anyway, so here, connect, and I'm taking a little slack out there, but I'm pulling the rest of the slack by pushing his face. And it's uncomfortable, right? And it can get the tap, but it's also, I want to reduce, like we're self-defense mindset, right? I want to reduce your will to fight. If I can touch your face, imagine what else I can do to it, right? So, you know, and then there, I want to start, you know, start clearing this here, right? It gets real serious, okay? So let's look at that double over the arms again. Over the arm, oh, sorry, here, right? So you got me here. Like you could just even imagine if I fell and you fell on top of me, right? I've seen that situation happen for me, and it's, again, people trying to get subdued. Imagine, you know, somebody trying to show up and put you in a straitjacket or something, right? It's like, that's kind of the way I think about this. So when I step back here, right, that's where I'm breaking, and I want to have a wedge here against his hip, okay? That's the block against knee strikes, groin strikes. I'm getting to the side here, collecting this arm. The arm's loose and he starts trying to hit me, boom. I'll collect it that way, okay? He steps behind. Not comfortable. I think I'll take your arm with me. All right, now a little fistful of your cartilage right there. Okay, so that's that. So we did, again, 2 koshigurumas. You haven't seen that one before. And 2 ogoshis, right? That first ogoshi we did against the overhand defense, we teach that to all levels all the time, right? That exact thing, like the overhand, okay? So the #1 way I introduce people to self-defense. The 3 additional ones, very new entries, you know, and it's a sequence. It's like a boxing combination, right? I have my entry, my hand around the neck, over the arms, whatever it is. Then I, you know, get to a really good base. And I prevent you from hitting me while I'm doing that. And then I throw you, knee on belly, stabilize the position. And then I isolate for a figure 4 arm lock, or I hold that arm, I anchor, and I push the face. Okay, turning that face away, it may just give you the time to go to the figure 4, right? Just a little added element of control. Okay, thanks guys.